Bhakti Yoga is just about accepting that the one lives as is small, trivial. Bhakti Yoga is about realizing that one has needlessly distanced herself from the truth. And because there is a distance, so the truth has now to be envisioned as another entity altogether. One says, I am so deeply mired in filth and rubbish now that it is not proper that I say that the truth is within me or in my heart. I am all black now. I am all sooted and grim now. So I would rather say that I am all dirt, and the clean one, the pure one, is somewhere outside of me. So I locate him there and I say, you are there, my Ishtadev, my Bhagavan, and I worship you. This is bhakti. This separation, this humility is the bedrock of bhakti. I look at myself as so very filthy and spoiled and deluded that I dare not say that I am capable of reaching him using my ways. I dare not say that I'll apply my own personal intelligence to get to the truth. I see that I am so small and so deluded that the only option available to me is to ask for help. I cannot try out things on my own. I see that I am powerless. I have made myself powerless. So I simply submit. I just bow down and ask for help. So surrendering is the method of bhakti. Surrendering is the method of bhakti. Separation, or rather the realization of separation, is the beginning of bhakti. Surrendering is the method. And then the ultimate dissolution, which one can also call as a total unity, is the conclusion of bhakti. So one sees that there is a separation. To bridge that separation, one surrenders. This is step 2. What was step 1? Realizing that there is separation. That is the beginning of bhakti. The method is to surrender. And how does the thing conclude? This little one that has surrendered, it starts bridging the gap, of course, not by its own efforts or tricks, but due to the grace of this. And the gap reduces, and ultimately this dissolves in this. The closer the ego gets to the truth, the more it dissolves. The personal self loses its appeal, its power, its grip over you. That is bhakti. One has to be very humble to even begin on the path of bhakti. One has to be very, very submitted. So bhakti is not for everyone. Those who are fond of raising their voice and charting their own path, and maintaining, preserving their individuality, for them bhakti is not. Bhakti is for those who begin by saying that I have lost it, and end with gaining everything. If you cannot simply admit that you have lost it, you can't even begin with bhakti. What is surrender? Surrender is the logical continuation of the first step. If I have lost it, what right do I have to proceed using my own ways, methods, calculations? So I'll not proceed anymore using my age-old tricks and ways. Instead, I let myself flow. Instead, I let power outside of me decide how to move. The power outside of you could be the Nirakar God or a personified teacher. But it has to be definitely not you. Who it is who guides you can be variable. The power that guides you and shows you light can be one or the other. But one thing is certain. In bhakti, you are not to be your own Lord. You are not to be your own teacher. You are not to go by your own calculations and fancies.
Take some practical example like Meera. What she did was it Bhakti Yog, and finally she did attain God.
One can say she began with attainment. Step 1 is important. Step 2 and 3 follow. Step 1 is a brutally honest admission of one's fallen state. One cannot mince words there. One cannot be diplomatic there. One has to be ruthlessly straightforward. Yes, I am in trouble. I am fallen, I am sinking, I am suited. I am all smeared with filth. That step 1 is very important. If one realizes that one is in trouble, one will ask for help. Asking for help is surrender. And if you are really honest in asking help, help does arrive. And if help does arrive, then the helping hand also takes you home. That is the conclusion. But all begins with, firstly, a very honest admission of one's state. That is bhakti. To admit, firstly, that one is caught, stuck, troubled. You cry out, I am in doldrums. If you still have confidence over yourself, then bhakti is not for you. At the same time, bhakti is for those who indeed do have a deep-seated confidence. So deep-seated that you don't even call it confidence, you call it faith. Over oneself, one must lose all confidence. In the truth, one must have absolute faith. Both these go together, and both these must happen. So the bhakt keeps calling the Lord. You come, you come. The Bhakt keeps calling for help. Please save me. The Bhakt is in love with the truth, with the goal. The Bhakt finds nothing else to be going towards, to be attracted to be made a goal of. He has seen that all other goals are devious. They lead to more suffering. So he drops all other goals and lets only one remain, the one, and sings of him, and even imagines him, and dreams of him, and writes songs and acts crazy, and weeps and dances. And looks foolish to the entire world. All the intelligent ones keep mocking him. Sardonic jibes. This one has gone crazy. Meera, where is the husband that you keep talking to? When can we meet over lunch? When are you introducing him to us? In their own cleverness, they are being cynical. They are being dismissive of Meera. They are throwing taunts at her. And Meera is smiling and singing and still acting crazy and more crazy. In her craziness is the deepest wisdom. So Meera, your husband is a man who died thousands of years back. You have married a ghost, have you? And Meera spontaneously comes up with a fresh song. One has to be a connoisseur. One has to be a lover of beauty. One has to be a lover of beauty. One has to not just worship truth as an abstraction, as an ideal, as something that one has read of or heard of. One has to worship truth as a living, breathing entity. And that is why the Bhakt personifies the God. The Bhakt's God is not an abstraction. The Bhakt's God is a living reality. Krishna, who plays the flute, runs around, chases, gets chased, humors, dances, sometimes gets upset. Sometimes teases. Plays tricks. Is so human, very, very human. Because the Bhakt is human, so he cannot tolerate distance from the God. The only recourse available to him is to conceptualize his God as human. So he gives a form to his God. There is Nirakar Bhakti as well. When you can worship the formless, when you can be in love with the formless. But that is very difficult because you have a form. Because you have a form, so loving the formless becomes a little far-fetched. So the Bhakt would decorate the deity. The little Krishna. And the woman is very meticulously taking care of the deity and carrying the deity along. That has its own dangers. In personifying the God, you can bring God down to your own dimension. That danger is there. But one runs that risk. That danger is worth taking. Bhakti is so colorful. And more people have benefited from bhakti than from all other methods combined. More people have benefited from the simple, juicy, pithy, beautiful, heartfelt songs of bhakti saints than have benefited from the discourses of the most intelligent knowers. They are not. They are not. It's just that the sequence of the happenings is a little different. The paths appear a little different. The basic difference is in the mind that enters. There is a mind that would keep arguing. So his path is that of deliberation, discussion, negation, understanding. He does not see the truth as something outside of himself. His path does not begin with humility. His path begins with inquiry. But even on the path of knowledge, ultimately you will require a lot of humility. Ultimately you will be brought to a point where you'll have to admit that inquiry cannot take you any further. You have to drop the inquirer. And dropping the inquirer, dropping the self, would require humility. So only the sequence of the happenings is a little different. Otherwise the same. In bhakti, you take the most difficult step immediately. In bhakti, the most difficult step is the first step itself. Admit that you have been stupid. In the path of knowledge, you come to that realization way later. In the path of realization, you can't begin with the admission of your stupidity. Otherwise, how will you inquire? The stupid one can't inquire. If you have already admitted that you are stupid, how will you argue? How will you analyze? How will you inquire? How will you search and probe? In Gyan, you are forcibly brought to a point where you have to admit your stupidity. In Bhakti, you begin with the admission of your littleness, your frailty,